Hey, you guys, it's Jay Pritzy coming to you again. And I'm not going to be for you long, hopefully, but I have a lot to cover about this episode of Real Housewives. Oh my God, it was so freaking good. I really enjoyed it. I watched it like 4 or 5 times because it's so entertaining. What are we going to start off? Well, we know that there was a rift of the continuation of Portia feeling one way, Nene feeling one way about her trying to get her fired. You know, Nene seeing freaking fraud, and she was called, who was fraud? I think it was Phaedra. But so that was like the continuation of that. Then, she telling her side to Sheree, and the girls are with Nene. And Nene was like, she doesn't have control on what the callers are saying, I believe, but the callers did X. It wasn't like she go out her way to try to get nobody fired. So moving along, they decide to take the trolley, and on this trolley ride, Kenya, they asking Kenya how she doing because she just lost her grandmother and she's preparing the services while she's on this trip. So, they were being supportive. She goes off to the side. Well, Portia ends up going off to the side because she started to get emotional. She just had a death in her family and she could relate to what Kenya is going through. So, of course, Cynthia, being who she is, she goes over to check on Portia. And so everybody was like, well, what's going on with Portia? Then Marlo like, well, maybe because the moment of truth, okay? Well, maybe because you all haven't been talking to her or whatever, and Nene like, hold on glasses, okay? So it's just like last week I think it was hold on wig to Cynthia. This week is Marlo hold on glasses. So that was funny because she had these nice shades on. Marlo just keep continually to serve, okay? They need to give my auntie Marlo a peach, okay? She is really good for the show, but I'm just gonna keep it pushing. So she's talking to Cynthia, telling her about the loss of her uncle and everything else. So while they on the trolley, they trying to decide how they gonna split up, what they gonna do, and this and that and the other. So they decided to take pictures in front of this backdrop of Alcatraz because Alcatraz was on an island and you could see it in the bag. But I don't know why they want to take one with that, but it was ironic that they brought up Sheree's boyfriend Tyrone, asking Nene, about him. What does she know? And she was just saying that, excuse me, that Tyrone is a con artist. It was no sugarcoating. She was like, she knew him before her. And I think he scandaled somebody out of $4 million. I think it was a company. She was like, she was too smart for that. So how she was saying it made me feel like maybe this was probably before she met Greg. She met Tyrone back in the day or something like that. And he probably tried to holler at Nene. That's what it was giving me. Because she was like, because I'm too smart for that. So that's what I'm thinking about that. But I don't know, here, there, or whatever. That's just what I got gathered from it. So Marlo, who wanted to decide to be the brainstorm of this wedding, was to go to Chinatown, which Portia is thinking that China and Tokyo is the same thing. And I don't know what she was thinking, but it's like, no, it's not. Okay. So that was pretty interesting, but shouldn't be because Portia always say silly things like that or whatever. And I just wish it's funny, but it's like Portia really, but she be really serious about that. But her and Nene, I must say, this week was serving in the confessionals. Last week, Nene was serving too. I just love that look on her, that sleek bob with the part in the middle. It just made her face look softer to me. It was just giving me everything. It made her look fresh, renewed. It just everything. And Portia with the I wasn't, it was like a wine color or whatever. She was serving me something different and I was loving it. Okay. So back on task. So I guess Sheree decided to go with Marlo and with Portia to go get these things, and everything else for the wedding, which was interesting. And I'm just glad that they set it up that way. Well, I'm not glad they set it up that way, but it was so intense because it was like, how is Kenya going to feel about this or whatever? So they called Nene and was like, should we tell Cynthia? She was like, no, which Nene is a very smart cookie. She was like, they both need to be surprised together because we all know that if you would have told Cynthia, Cynthia probably would have hit the roof or whatever because she's very protective of Kenya, especially since Kenya is going through a vulnerable time right now. So they was like, well, since we never met him, we didn't go to the wedding, we gonna have a wedding for her. So they found this cutout, I guess a cutout groom with the mystery, I guess like mystery husband with the question mark on there. Portia was in charge of the crowd coming, so she grabbed people from the outside to come in, and that was so cool. Okay, for them to be guests to witness it, and they just told them to dress really nice. Cynthia and Kenya to dress really really nice, and that they were going to a gay club or whatever. But the gag was they had their wedding for Kenya. And I just want to say kudos go to Kenya this week because Kenya could have turned up on them, but she didn't. And I'm so glad that she didn't. I'm glad that she was being a sport for it because it was fun. It was like, don't ruin the moment, just be silly with it. And she was saying that it helped her get out of her rut. Now, one thing I can say about Kenya knows how to play her cards very well. Kenya love those checks and she know what time it is. So it's just like, you know what? I'm going to play along with it. It's silly or whatever. And I just want to say, I'm just glad that it happened that way instead of her being shaded like Phaedra was when she tried to give her a divorce party and all this other stuff. Talking about she not feeling well. Girl, just say you went for it, you know? So anywho, back on task of this, what else did I like? Oh yeah, when they end up going on the train ride, which I thought that was so cute. I always want to go on a train ride. It looks really nice. I think they were going to Napa Valley or somewhere, a winery. But it was really, really nice. The grapes were nice. But this is the thing. On the ride, I guess when Portia went to go use the restroom, she ended up sitting with Kenya and also Candy. And it was like, really, y'all set me over here, you know, whatever. But although, let me back up. Portia, after the wedding, Portia did go to Candy and tried to apologize or whatever. And Candy was like, yeah, okay. And we all know Candy is not over it. It's going to take Candy some time. But Portia wanted to be known that she had apologized before. But I just feel like that I want Candy, even though things had happened that way or all this other stuff, I want her to let it go, let the grudge go sooner than later. You know, because life is precious. I understand what happened. But, you know, I don't know if she felt like it was sincere or not. But like Candy has said, even with still kicking the show, with her escape now, you know, Tamika, they haven't been friends for quite some time. Since the group was broken up way back then. They wasn't in connection or whatever. Then 2006 rolled around. Then Tamika said what she said on the radio. So Candy definitely wasn't feeling them. So you know how long that's been? From that time breaking, I guess 99 or whatever, 2000 to we in 2017. Do the math. That is a long time. So hopefully it don't take that long for Portia and Candy to be in this situation. And I feel like time can heal anything. Okay, it really can. So you know, while they was on the ride, you know, Portia was like she was gaining a little weight. I guess this was a time where Candy wanted to throw her jazz. You think, you know, and all this other stuff. But you know, they were laughing and everything else. And Candy was like she didn't want the ride to be awkward, which I can give kudos to Candy too for not making the best of it. You know, instead of being all catty, rolling your eyes. Don't nobody got time for that energy, especially when you're traveling somewhere as beautiful where they went, you know. And it was just so interesting how Kenya was talking about her husband. This is the most that I've heard her actually talk about her husband. And you know what else was pretty? It was a lot of interesting things that went on in this episode because Candy and Todd had passed by Mark's restaurant. I didn't know he had a restaurant. I thought he was a banker or something, but they showed a little clip of that. Candy was like, you know, she don't want Kenya to kill her. They can keep it pushing. I guess when they were in New York, but Todd was out for it. So after that has passed, or whatever. Kenya was just on the train talking about her husband and all of these different things on how he doesn't want her to wear makeup and everything. And they was just showing, oh, she was like, he loves a strong woman and this and that and the other. And it was just like, oh, okay. And they reflected back on how Portia was with her ex-husband, Cordell, and how Nene was over, because she's like, talking about, and I remember that because it was like, no, whatever my husband wanted, like, it was like so much control. But once she let go, she got to booking, okay? And look at Portia now. So, anyways, that was interesting. And, I guess they was trying to reflect that. So it's like, I hope he don't be trying to be too controlling. Hopefully, they could compromise on some things and move along. So they end up getting on this beautiful winery. And when I tell you one thing, Marlo just keeps continue to serve. They need to get my auntie Marlo a peach. In my mind, her and Nene are my aunties. Candy is my cousin. Portia is my cousin as well, because they are so fabulous. And then the rest of them are like friends of the family. It's just one of those things. But I consider them to be family as well. Anywho, so it was really cool. I mean, that dress kind of gave me a little of that lemonade dress that Beyonce wore, but I think Beyonce had more flair with it, whatever, but it looked really good and subtle on Marlo, because that's like a hard pattern to pull off. And, Beyonce pulled it off, of course, but it was like really, really cute, and I really like that on her. And the women, they just look really good. Portia, one thing I can say is Portia slay. Who else? Nene slay. Marlo slay. Candy, she does well on this episode. And, it was just like a cute little thing with her little headband. But, they slay in their own way, in their own personality. But Sheree and Cynthia, it's like they have their times when they want to do, and when it's just like, oh, okay, and they are beautiful women too. But it's like that's what we look for. We look for that glam. We look for that, and I guess sometimes it's good to dress down and everything. But Sheree been real comfortable in San Francisco and in the Valley too. Okay, it's like, come on, we need you to step it up, Sheree. So that's what I can just remember, they outfits and everything else. And I was like, oh yes, Portia, Nene, and Marlo. So Marlo and Portia was like my top two favorite when they was in the winery. Then this guy, he trying to out finesse them and everything else. And Portia was very comfortable around that sword when she chopped the neck off on that bottle on that champagne. That was interesting. And y'all, did y'all see Marlo when they did the grapes and he was feeding them the grapes and everything and she gobbled that thing? It was like, it's like seeing your aunt having a deep throat. It was like, oh my God, but it was all fun and games. Now, what was interesting is the next portion when they went to go have their drink. In the they was sipping the wine, I guess having a taste testing, and I think it was one that John Legend likes. And then Nene made the jab at Kim. Did y'all catch it about those tickets? Okay, about blowing John Legend on them tickets and all this other stuff or whatever. But the wine, they say it was really good. It was very red. It was just beautiful, grown, and sexy. And of course, they want to get into talking about Kenya, because I believe Kenya had to leave early. So no, yeah, what was Kenya? Yeah, I think she left because it was like that night. Because Kenya was at the winery. So the vineyard or whatever they want to call it, but it was beautiful. But they wanted to bring, one thing about it is what they say is true, and I think Sheree said that whenever Marlo is on the scene, she brings truth to bring it out in the open, and that's what Marlo is good for. Okay, she just, it don't make sense how she served on this show. They need to give Auntie Marlo a peach She needs a peach, okay? What more do you want from her? Give her a peach, please, because I just love to see her in her fashions, how she put it together. When Marlo came on the show, that's something else. When Marlo first came on the show, all the other women needed help. They had to grow into themselves. But Marlo came snatched and ready and polished on the show. She's been the only one. So, but anywho, all the women are gorgeous and everything else. But back to the story. They was asking, stuff about Kenya and how did Cynthia feel about, about not being part of the wedding or whatever. What is Kenya hiding, basically? And she was like not feeling it. She walked off. Y'all, like big booty Judy. Cynthia booty is huge. So, and it's natural. She's just a slim, thick woman, and she looks fabulous. Like, that's what she was serving us that night. That's one thing about it. She could put it together. And Sheree too. But it's like, I need them to continue to slay each and every day at the moment, because Portia, they don't let us down. Nene, they don't let us down. Even Candy don't let us down. But it's just what it is. Marlo don't never let us down. But Cynthia walks out. She just had enough, start crying, and then Nene had to go tell her, don't let them scare you off like that or whatever. You need to come in and face, it was just really talking to her, being the big sister to her. And so, because Nene felt like that she's so up in Kenya's butt that she, it's like, if she say high jump, it's like how high. But I think what it is that Cynthia is a genuine, true friend. If you her friend, you her friend. She's not shady. She has great energy. And I think a lot of that because they feel like how their friendship is. It's like, girl, you go so hard for her, but yeah, you wasn't even invited. And I think that will hurt anybody, because it is what it is. And Cynthia is who she is. She can't deny who she is, and I think she's a sweet woman, but I think sometimes it'd be a bad rap for her because it look like she's a weakling. She let people run over her and everything, and I just feel kind of bad because it's hard to find real, true, genuine friends that's really there for you, that'll support you. And what it just shows is that Cynthia doesn't have to be in the light. That's what she gives. She's such a beautiful woman, and she doesn't portray like, I'm Cynthia Bailey, I'm the model. She has a good heart. And I think sometimes people overlook that and don't see like, look, she's a gorgeous, beautiful woman. She never tries to try too hard. She just be herself and she be genuine. It's like, it don't have to be about me. It's about me supporting my friend. And that's how I look at it. I had to see it that way. But that was it so far. And, of course, she was a little hurt on it. But I'm just saying, I kept y'all for a little minute, but I truly enjoyed it. I can't wait for more and more of the Atlanta Housewives. It's just what it is. And that's it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. And I'll get back with y'all later because I have to do Married to Medicine. I holla.